Ever thought about what happens when a construction contract needs to be terminated? It's not as simple as just walking away. When a contract breach is so fundamental that damages alone won't suffice, termination becomes necessary. But tread carefully. Termination can be risky business. Do it wrongly, and you might find yourself being the wrongdoer with the contract terminated against you. The stakes are high. So let's understand how to properly terminate a construction contract. The Joint Contracts Tribunal, or JCT, provides options to terminate under the strict provisions of the contract or at common law. This is a decision that hinges on the unique circumstances and the outcome you're after. Now, the JCT design and build contract, for instance, comes with its own set of advantages for both the employer and the contractor. For the employer, it's a chance to seize control. They can ask the contractor to leave the site, acquire copies of design documents, and halt further payments. This can be a strategic move in a situation where the employer needs to take charge of the project. The contractor, on the other hand, can see it as an escape route. They can remove themselves from the site and submit accounts for payment within 28 days. This can be a lifesaver, especially when the project is not panning out as expected. Another important aspect is the strict observance of contractual time limits when serving termination notices. While the courts may not always enforce the fine print, it's best not to take chances. The last thing you want is a dispute over a missed deadline, right? Exactly. So how do you avoid this? By meticulously adhering to the contract's time limits. For example, if there's a default that justifies termination, the aggrieved party typically has a reasonable period to serve a notice. If the default continues, a second notice can be served within a set time. Failing to meet these time limits can result in complications and potentially a reversal of roles where you become the wrongdoer. Now let's delve into the grounds on which a contract can be terminated. Let's start with the employer. The employer can terminate the contract if the contractor suspends work without reasonable cause, fails to proceed diligently with the work, or fails to comply with instructions or subcontracting rules. It's all about maintaining the integrity of the project and ensuring the contractor meets the standards set out in the contract. It's important to understand these grounds to ensure a fair and lawful termination process. Summing up, terminating a construction contract is a complex process that requires careful consideration. It's essential when a breach is fundamental and damages alone won't cut it. The employer and contractor both have their own sets of rights and obligations. So next time you are involved in a construction contract, remember these points to ensure a smooth and lawful termination process, if necessary. Let's delve into a real-world scenario to better understand the process of contract termination due to non-payment. We will focus on a construction project involving a large commercial complex. The parties involved were a reputable construction company and a well-established real estate firm. The project was progressing as planned until the real estate firm started delaying payments. Despite several reminders and notices, the situation didn't improve. The construction company followed the contractual time limits, giving the real estate firm ample time to rectify the situation. The construction company was able to recover some of its losses through legal means, but the process was time-consuming and costly. This case underscores the importance of adhering to payment schedules in construction contracts. Non-compliance can lead to severe consequences, including project termination. Now let's examine another case where a contract was terminated due to continuous suspension. This case involved a renovation project for a historic landmark. The parties involved were a specialized renovation firm and a government agency. The project was challenging due to the building's historical significance and the need for meticulous restoration. However, the government agency continuously suspended the project for various reasons, ranging from budget reallocations to changes in restoration plans. The renovation firm was left in a state of constant uncertainty, with work being halted and resumed repeatedly. As per the JCT contract, the renovation firm exercised its right to terminate the contract after a continuous suspension exceeding the agreed-upon contractual time limits. However, the government agency failed to provide a stable work environment within the stipulated time. This led to the renovation firm rightfully terminating the contract. The outcome was a delay in the restoration of the historic landmark, and the government agency had to find a new contractor, incurring additional costs. This case underscores the importance of maintaining project momentum and the potential repercussions of unnecessary delays.